Good evening, Britannia, and hello to the rest of the world. Welcome to 2CTV and today's main news. Actually, there are a couple of other stuff as well, which we will discuss. The main news was from earlier this morning. A couple of small group of Just Stop Oil activists, the eco-militants paid for by certain organizations, the likes of Open Society and, of course, George Soros and all the others and all of the external foreign actors who are funding to disrupt our system and our society, have decided to go to the British Library and target Magna Carta. Now, for those who are not familiar, Magna Carta as a document is technically speaking the foundation of the relationship between the state and the common people in this country, with King John ensuring that the monarchy knows and the state knows that they are not above the law and the rule of law, of course. But that has now changed. Let's have a look at these guys. They decided to target and damage the glass case that was protecting the Magna Carta document, which is as important to the Brits and the English as the Constitution of the United States to the Americans. Now, the problem with this is that let's have a look at who these people are. One of them is Reverend Dr. Sue Parfitt, 82 years old, an active Anglican priest, author, and a retired psychotherapist. The psychopath sounds right. From Bristol, of course, from Bristol. And the other one is Judy Bruce, 85 years old, a retired biology teacher. So she must know what a woman is. Maybe not. From Swansea. These guys decided to enter the British Library and targeted the glass case that was protecting Magna Carta. And then they also said, donate. I'm going to show you the videos, by the way. It gets chaotic. It's so embarrassing, the whole thing. But they also said, Just Stop Oil, donate to help us take action at airports this summer. They are literally telling us they're going to cause criminal damage. They're going to disrupt. Just imagine, hypothetically, Maya Tusi would one day go on this channel and said, in defense of the British culture or British borders against illegal migration, blah, 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 Maya Tusi has announced that he wants to go and disrupt and take action at airports or something else, train stations. There will be outrage in the media. The police will knock on my door. MI5 will question me. The whole thing will collapse because they would say, this is not right. You can't do this. The far right, blah, 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 right? They are literally telling us, they literally informed us what they're going to do, and we're going to allow them to do it. We're going to let it happen. And then the police will come and arrest them, and then they'll get charged maybe, and then the judge will just release them. Simple. Let's go to the video.
This famous document is about the rule of
Yes,
law
can you come to...
and standing up against an
Yes, I'm
abuse
receiving
of
over.
power. Our government is
Can you
breaking
come
its
to Magna Carta,
own
please?
laws.
As a Christian,
Yes,
I am
yes, sir. Can you come to...
compelled to do all that I can
Can you stop doing that, please? Stop filming, please, eh?
to
Can you stop doing that?
alleviate
Stop doing
the
that, please.
appalling suffering that's
You come to
coming
Magna
down
Carta,
the
over,
line
please.
and is here already.
Can you stop doing
Whatever
that,
it
please?
takes,
Can
whatever
you
the
stop filming,
cost.
please? Can you stop doing that?
So we must
Stop doing that, please. Did you hear me?
just
stop
Yes, sister,
Oil.
can you come to Magna Carta over?
We must just stop
oil.
Glasses. I'm on my way. Can you stop filming for me?
No disrespect to anybody who's a little bit older than me, especially in their 80s. But, okay, I'm going to have to say, it's just a little bit funny when you see them as activists because they had no energy. They're like, just stop. I don't think that has done anything to do with their age, by the way. I think that's just them as their personality was. I've seen people in their 80s with more energy than them. But they're just stop or take a nap. It's like Joe Biden all over again. The funny thing is, one of them was actually saying, the Magna Carta document, rule of law, you're literally breaking it, you idiot. And then they said the government is breaking their own law. I'm not a fan of this government. I'm not a fan of Rishi Sunak or the Tories. But Parliament, and also Parliament is now filled with a bunch of idiots. But we're still, constitutionally speaking, if the government make a law in Parliament, it's the law. They're not breaking it. In fact, they're breaking other parts of the country and law. But now in this situation, it makes no sense. They're not breaking their own laws. That's not how they might be angering you. They might be doing things you don't like. Yes, absolutely. I mean, they're doing things that I don't like when it comes to Brexit, for example, or the border situation, but they're not breaking their own laws. They are breaking their own laws with other things, which no one cares about, apparently, but not when it comes to net zero. It's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. So, and then things kicked off. It became interesting because obviously when the police came into the British Library with the security that was already there, I don't understand why the security would have to take ages to do this. But having said that, I'm going to show you the video first. There are a couple of people already saying, what is this? I can agree that the government is breaking its own laws. No, they're not. They're not. That is not uncommon. Yes, I mean, generally speaking, I think you mean not in this situation. They're not breaking their own laws in this situation. Attacking preserved documents that are more or less sacred is, as the Bible is not exactly going to stop it. That's spot on, absolutely spot on. Let's go to the second video where the whole thing kicked off and then they tried to basically take them out.
Attention everyone. Can I have everybody making their way to the exit, please? Thank you. Thank you very much. Everyone make your way to the exit now.
You could make your way to the exit, please.
We have got one of them. It's part of them as well. If you need to speak to him or you want us to take him out of the building.
It's entirely
It's in relation with them as well.
I understand.
Yeah.
Asking people to leave is the British Library's decision.
Yes.
Would you like this man to leave the
We'd
building?
like him to leave the building as well. Just leave the building now.
You'll remove me
I
for
am
filming.
removing, yes. Come out of the
Okay,
building
as long
now.
as we're on the same page with that, I
I
understand.
don't need to understand any page. All I'm telling you to move out of the building now. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
They're self-entitled eco-activists. You're not on the street. You've gone to British Library to film your other fellow activists, break the law, and literally not even covering their faces this time. It's not like the Palestinian supporters. And then you're upset that they're removing you for filming? You're part of the plot, you idiot. There have been a lot of people who have been saying, I mean, I can see in the live chat, we still have a number of naive liberals in the live chat. These liberal-minded people. Liberalism has always been a good thing, but there's a limit, and you have to make sure you know the boundaries. Liberalism has created a situation where people are saying, ignore them. It's fine. Don't talk about them. Don't give them airtime. That's exactly what we've been doing since the 1960s. Look what happened. By ignoring people, by not giving them the airtime, they are literally targeting the Magna Carta document. They're targeting our fundamental civilization and, of course, our values, and of course, our constitution, and of course, our democracy. And it's not just these guys. We're being targeted by all sides. And we've been ignoring them for a long time. Bury your head in the sand. Say, we're liberal-minded, it's okay, we'll just ignore them, they'll go away. They don't go away. There was a time when people used to grow up, when they were teenagers, when they were left-wing, they grow up, they become sensible, conservative-minded, have family, pay taxes. The virus has been going around since the 1960s onwards. Thanks to the Marxists and all the others that created the modern globalist movement. They do not allow you, the virus doesn't allow you to grow up. You can grow old, but you won't grow up. Back then, you could ignore the student activists. Now they turn into Jeremy Corbyn and Bernie Sanders, at best. You can't ignore it. When you're under attack, you can't ignore it. You have to call them out. You have to tell people what's going on. You have to let people know what we are dealing with. Stop being nice about it. Stop just saying, right, it's okay, I'm just going to ignore it. It's going to go away. If I don't think about it, it's going to go away. So we have this. And then we have a statement from the British Library Press Office saying an incident occurred at the British Library on Friday, 10th of May, where two individuals attacked the toughened glass case containing the Magna Carta in the library's treasures gallery. The library's security team intervened to prevent further damage to the case, which was minimal. They took a while to get there, by the way. I don't understand how, but okay. The police were notified and the Magna Carta itself remains undamaged. The treasures gallery is temporarily closed until further notice. And thank God for the glass protection, which was pretty strong. But that's not really the point of it. It's about the principles. You have to protect. It's not really just about the document. It's not really just about the physical thing. It's the symbolism that matters. And that thing, the document, doesn't belong to the British Library. It doesn't belong to the state. It belongs to the English people. It belongs to the Anglo-Saxons. It's their document. You go against it, it's as bad as you attacking any citizen's house. It's the same thing. But our establishment don't see it that way. They just treat it as any other piece of paper. Also, it's a good point, Alan, saying they didn't remove you, the guy who was filming, the Just Stop All activist, for filming. Although you're still not allowed to film, but it's not the street. They removed you for taking part in the act of criminal damage. Exactly. Honestly, they are just uneducated. No, to be fair, they are educated. Just because you're educated, it doesn't mean you are wise. This is the problem. So you could be academically aware. Be aware and be intelligent, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't mean you're smart. Doesn't mean you're clever. And doesn't mean you're wise. Wisdom is the key word. Most of the problem that we currently have is that a lot of people are informed. Being informed doesn't mean you understand. So you can be informed, but the word informed simply means you've read about something, you've been told something, whether it's about Marxism or capitalism, democracy, dictatorship. You could read about those. Doesn't mean it gets in there. Doesn't mean you understand them. You could pretend all these pseudo-intellectuals and academics who happen to become champagne socialist middle classes. These guys, they've read a lot. Oh yeah, they're book smart. They don't know anything about life. What you need instead is an element of street smart to understand the real world and wisdom. And wisdom comes obviously based on a number of factors. I mean, partly you can say if you already have it in your genetics, but your upbringing matters. And how you learn in life from mistakes and from your environment, that matters. And who you surround yourself with and what sort of experiences you go through. Then you become actually smart by having wisdom, common sense. I could read a lot of books, doesn't mean I'm going to understand how the life works. That's the problem. These people are brainwashed. But the problem with the system that we have is that across the whole Western world is people's fake credentials or technical credentials are essentially prioritized over real life experience and knowledge. So everything is about the concept of CV or resume if you're watching from America. So you could technically have a lot of things part of your credentials. This guy's read this. This guy's got a PhD in this. And then they give you a lot of power. You become part of the elite. But most of these people don't know the basics of life. There were journalists back in the day, a few decades ago, used to go around doing this to politicians saying, do you know the price of milk or the price of bread? Now that was just, again, symbolically, that was just a gimmick. But in reality, you don't have to know the price of milk, but it will help. That's just a symbolism in terms of, do you actually know the real world? You can understand things, you can learn certain things by reading, but doesn't mean you're actually smart. Karen Taylor says, why would these old people want to destroy the Magna Carta? Why don't they protest against the government in power now? Why don't they take their grievance to King Charles? Because they know, and we know they know, and they know they know, that the state, the establishment, the government, the media, the corporations are already on their side. The whole thing is just a facade. It's fake. They're going around. Greta Thunberg, who's currently staging a coup outside the Eurovision tournament, which is hilarious, has been going around attacking politicians, governments, corporations, the same governments, politicians, corporations, and the media who have all submitted to net zero as a program, as an agenda. They are literally gaslighting you. And these people don't even matter. It's not even about these couple of people who just went to the British Library. They're just a bunch of pawns in the bigger game. The real people with actual influence, we don't talk about them. I mean, some of them are more public. For example, Klaus Schwab, the head of the World Economic Forum. He has his conferences in Davos. We can scrutinize that to an extent. But it's not even about Klaus Schwab. It's not even about Obama. It's not even about Joe Biden or Justin Castro Trudeau. Behind the scenes, those who benefit from these things, that's where the money goes. And Islam says that Greta is a clown, golden sheep for globalists. You know what's interesting? On the issue of Greta Thunberg, she is now 21. I believe she literally just had her birthday, right? When is it? Yeah, she only just had her birthday a couple of months ago. 21 in America, proper adult. When she became 18, this is where it gets funny. In the UK, she's an adult, 18, done. I said, she's now 18, and I meant it as a joke, but also seriously, but witty. I could be witty sometimes. I said, well, now that before she was 18, people said you can't really criticize her. She's just a kid. She's a teenager. And then I said, well, finally, I'm excited now. She's 18. I can criticize her. We can call her out. Then, of course, you had the political left try to cancel me. This is like about 3 years ago, right? 4 years ago. Trying to cancel me, saying Maya's been creepy, and he was waiting for Greta to become 18. Basically like a nonce. Now, Ben Shapiro, today, literally did a post celebrating that she's now 21. So in America, he's now allowed to also criticize her. Funnily enough, now he's being called a pedo. The thing is, if they ever attempt to cancel you, if it's being cancelled on a societal level, you simply have to laugh. Never apologize, never explain. Unless you've done something wrong, unless you committed a crime, well, not only apologize, go hand yourself in, because don't commit a crime. It's not a good idea. Otherwise, do not cave in. Do not apologize. How many of these weak and feeble politicians or celebrities, when they say something wrong, they get cancelled, they come out and apologize. What happens next? They kick them further. They kick them on the ground. Anyway. Gary says, how did they get those tools through security in the first place? I guess there is no screening now. All public buildings need to ramp up their security and awareness. Yes, I agree. So in Britain and in London, we still have, relatively speaking, a good understanding, which I'm massively surprised that Islamists and the actual enemies and far left and Iran and China haven't really taken advantage of it further. We don't really have much security like everywhere. We not really. Like you can go to shopping centers. I mean, I don't really want to live in a country or in a city where even if you go shopping or to a shopping center, you have to be searched. That's just sad and depressing. But a lot of our museums, galleries, certain important buildings, you just walk in because there's always an understanding. Everyone's fine. But the thing is, things are changing. Demographics changing. You got literally enemies. You got thousands of extremists walking around and literally terrorists. But yeah, the problem is you can just go. And also, to be fair, when you have a couple of people in their 80s, old ladies walking in, I don't think even the security looking at them like, yeah, go in, you're not a threat. This is the other issue. Back in the day, you could sense certain people. You could do, what do they call it, the racial profiling or whatever. Say, wow, that guy looks brown, he's got a backpack, go for him. Nobody goes for an 82-year-old lady, a woman, I don't know what she was. Also, I don't know her pronouns, so Don't want to assume, right? And then yeah, she's gonna sue me and cancel me. Karen is right. Greta Thunderbomb, amazing, has always been a puppet of the global elites. She is a total waste of time and space. She literally became, she's almost a millionaire. She's got so much money. I just realized I've missed so many super chats. Apologies, guys. What am I doing? She's got so much money because of all her backers. Super chat from Aaron Bacon. Thank you. Saying that the term liberals should be changed to communists. The thing is that, well, they are still liberals. You have good liberals who believe in classical liberalism, which are called conservative these days. But there are still basically modern liberals who, their problem is they are woke and they are very sensitive and snowflakey. But they still think they're fighting against socialism and communism, because actual liberals also hate collectivism. But those liberals are the reason we have communists and Islamists walking on the streets, because they said, yeah, let's open the door. Welcome everybody. All refugees are welcome here. Everything's going to be fine. Don't vet people's backgrounds, you idiots. Peter Green says, thank you for the support. We didn't even know there was a climate when the Magna Carta was written. Proves my theory, though. These climate not jobs don't have two working brain cells between them. Yeah. Aaron's back saying their next possible target, HMS. Yeah, oh no. Actually, if you go for ships, so there are a couple of big ones, and the Thames. If you go for certain, if you can call it a ship, building, it's not a building, obviously, it's a ship. Certain parts and institutions. There's one near London Bridge. I think you might get shot. I think we still have boundaries. But of course, yeah, this one, obviously, the anti-slave ship that was launched in 1817, still there. They don't like truth or history. Yeah, they're not going to do that, obviously. Robert says, Just Stop Oil are misguided zealots with way too much time on their hands. They have no respect for others or themselves. So they are either teenagers or students or basically people, young people in their 20s in trust funds, getting money from daddy, or obviously pensioners who just have also good enough money and clearly healthy enough to go on adventures. We literally have the rest of the country. We have pensioners who are struggling to even go to the supermarkets. But these guys are having a great time. They could do whatever they want. Get a taxi to British Library, cause chaos, go have a pub lunch, or go to, I don't know, Harrods, have lunch there. Pauline says, you would think they know better at their age. No, of course not. Actually, this helps with the next comment, because Annette says, my mum says, some people grow up, kid, and some just grow old. Spot on. And the Imperialist says the Magna Carta gave these idiots their right to begin with. I know, this is the biggest irony. That you can criticize their politicians and governments and what happens in the day, but if you try to attack the fundamental values that created what you have, it's just going to backfire on you. It's not really the wise thing to do, but these people are not wise. That's what I keep saying. But we are. Anyway, we're going to have more updates for you guys. Apologies for lack of videos and updates the last couple of days. We have been doing one or two, obviously. But at some point, I need to explain to you guys, either later tonight or probably tomorrow, some bad things have been going on in my life and for 2CTV. I will give you guys some details later on. Fortunately, essentially, the whole thing is we've been under attack. Directly or indirectly, intentionally or unintentionally, we've been damaged, and it's not really a good time, but I'm going to keep going, keep calm and carry on, despite people's own selfish behavior. We will continue to do everything we can to bring you guys the news and the truth. We're not going anywhere, but we'll have some updates. I'll have to explain certain things to you guys, either later tonight or tomorrow. You've been watching 2CTV. I'm Maya 2C, and we are the media.